Hi guys, today we can see a game between two former world champions. White one is Mikhail Tal and second is Boris Spassky. So played in year 1979. We'll see the game. So white opens with d4, knight f6, c4, e6, knight f3, b6. This is a Queen's Indian opening. So e3, bishop b6. So I just play the normal opening moves. Bishop e3, d5, b3, bishop d6, castle, castle, bishop b2, knight b7, knight b2. All these is normal moves only. Queen c2, c5, cd5, cd5, dc5, bc5, queen c3, rook f8, rook f d1, d4. Okay, here in this question, I just tell you the advantage of hanging pawns and disadvantage. So this is a hanging pawn. Why this hanging pawn? This pawn should be defended by a pawn. Always pawn should be defended by a pawn. This is not defended by a pawn. So it's called a hanging pawn. Advantage of hanging pawns is like it controls more center squares, right? More center squares. That's advantage. Disadvantage is, as I said earlier, pawn should be defended by a pawn, so it can be easily attacked. So it will be like both sides, minus and plus. Now see, now black plays the move d4, striking the center because they just have a control over the center. Bishop was looking this diagonal, bishop on looking this diagonal. d4, pawn captures, pawn captures. So here you have two variations, knight d4 and queen d4. So queen d4 means knight c5. The idea is like you're just attacking queen and bishop with the discard of bishop and h2. So if you play king h2, no problem. I just even play like a knight here or else even bishop here. Anything is possible. Here, anything is like discard attack is possible. So that's why you can't capture the queen. So knight captures. Now bishop f4, pinning the knight. So the knight comes to e5. So when you play knight f5, although the knight's good on the good square, but queen will go to e6 and queen d5 attacking on this g2. This queen and this bishop will be more powerful. This bishop is already attacking here. The knight jumps to e5. So that's like an advantage for black. So instead of knight f5, white will play rook b1 to get rid of the spin. Now comes knight e5. See, every pieces are towards the king's side. So it's like advantage for black. So bishop goes to f1. So make some difference on g2. Now comes the move knight of g4. See, all these pieces are looking towards the king's side. It's like a good active piece. That's the advantage of having a hanging pawns. Now g3 to stop the bishop on h2. So g3 one option, knight f3 is one option. So g3. Now comes the move bishop into d2, rook into d2, rook into d4, rook into d4, knight f3. So king moves here or here, you get a discover attack with the knight in d4. It's a clear winning advantage. So you can play g3. Now knight f3. Now knight into f2, king into f2, knight g4, king g1, bishop e3, king h1, knight f2, king g1, and knight in d1. Again with the discover attack, queen is gone. So this is the advantage of having active pieces. So you can't play with knight f3 or g3 too. So you can't play knight f3 or g3. So it's like a clear winning advantage. So here instead of this one, knight in d4, they played the move queen into a5, getting away from that. Queen a5. Queen a5 is played in the game. Now knight e5, again knight e5. Now there's two options, knight into e5 and bishop f1. So we'll see bishop f1 first. Bishop f1. Now comes again knight g4 attacking. So discover attack. Knight f3, knight into f3, bishop into f3, g into f3, knight h2 or bishop h2 is there. So that's a target. So knight into e5, bishop into e5, g3. So they think like they just stop this one. Now comes the brilliant move. Queen h4. Queen h4 is the move. Attacking h2s. If it captures, bishop into h2 checkmate. So you can't do anything. Now h3 means bishop into g3. Pawn g3, queen g3, bishop g2, queen g2 will be game over. So here in this question, so they didn't do bishop f1. They just captured straight away knight into e5, bishop into e5. Now Knight f1 can be a defense to h2. Knight c4 actually played again. Let's see the knight f1 variation. Knight f1. Again knight g4. Now the idea is like they're going to play queen to h4. Queen to h4 attacking this and this. So they can play g3. If g3 means knight into f2, king into f2, queen f6. Now king g1. Now queen f2 will be the game over. Will be game over. Their idea is g2 is coming. If you play rook d2, queen h1, king f2, queen g2, king e1. Now comes to bishop c7 with a discover attack will be game over. So you can't do still. So that's why they played knight c4. Knight c4 has been played. Now comes the move. Next is simple rook d5. Idea is like attacking the queen. Now getting the rook to h1 and attacking the h2. Simple. Queen d2. Now bishop into h2. King at h2. Rook h5. Now king g3 can be option, but king g3. Knight e4. Double attack. Bishop into e4. Queen h4. King f3. Queen into e4. King g1 and queen h4 will be game over. So this can be done. So king g1 has to be forced. So king g1, now comes the move knight g4. Idea is like rook h1, king h1, queen h4 will be game over. So queen f4 has to be played. Now comes the finishing blow. Queen h4 will be game over because queen h1 is unstoppable. So the thing is like when you have a hanging pawns, you have an activity of pieces. With that activity of pieces, you can manage a game with a win, right? So that's the point of this one. So this game is played between the two former world champions. So hope you understood the ideas in the game. Okay guys, we'll see you in the next video. Until then, bye.